Good afternoon. My name's Amber and welcome to Blooms on the Hill. I'm a flower farmer florist and this is my flower farm. I'm based in Budgeree, which is in Victoria in Gippsland, and I'm actually a sheep and cattle farmer, but I have a small section of the farm which is also my little flower farm. So to introduce the farm, I thought I'd give you a little tour of my flowers. So the section of my garden I'm standing in now is my main flower garden, and this was my garden last year where I had 450 dahlias, and this season I now have a lot of other flowers as well, a lot of other annuals. So I have cosmos and zinnias and some celosia, and I have gomphrena and some snapdragons. I've had cornflowers and I've got some sunflowers. What else have I got? A few bits and pieces, some chrysanthemums going along. A lot of things I've got this year have been a trial to see how they go, because the things I've never grown before. I've always grown dahlias over the last few years, and I now have a large paddock full of dahlias. If anyone's grown dahlias before, you can dig up the tubers after the season, and then you can divide them and you end up with more, which is great. But it does mean that I now have about 1,800 plants. So I have my main crop of dahlias down in a paddock now, which my husband really nicely ploughed up some rows for me. And within my main flower garden here, I've got new varieties that I purchased for this year. So I bought about 100 new ones. It's a little bit hard not to, they're very addictive. But I was needing different colours. I had a lot of purples for some reason. I don't know why. It obviously must be my favourite colour without me even realising it. But I had to get some blushes and some salmons and peaches and pretty colours like that that are a bit more wedding friendly colours, because I've done a couple of weddings already. I've got my sister's wedding coming up in March, and I've got 2 weddings booked for March of 2024. So whites and blushes and pinks and things are the colours that I wanted to get. So I will take you on a little tour and show you the different things that I've got growing. Next to my dahlias I planted cosmos, and I've got this really big row of it, which I know is going to be way too much because apparently it just goes crazy and it produces heaps of flowers. I've put in a lot of different varieties of cosmos. I've never grown it before, so this is an experiment for me because I don't know what it's going to do. So there's lots of lovely different varieties in here which I can't wait to see, but I think it's going to be fantastic, particularly when I do my sister's wedding, because you can use the foliage as well. It's all budding up, which is nice. My flowers have been so slow. I've been watching other growers on Instagram and ones that aren't that far from me, and seeing all their flowers has been making me a little sad because mine aren't doing anything. But here we go, they're starting to come, which is lovely. Should be able to take some of these to farmers market on Sunday. I'll be at Glengarry on. This is a beautiful one. I can't pronounce the name. It starts with X. But there should be heaps and heaps of cosmos. This row there is a random sunflower. I have no idea what was going on in my head when I saw that little seedling and put it there, but he's there. I have some globe amaranth, or I think the other word is gomphrena. So this is a white one, and there's also a pink one, and then there's a strawberry one, and they're starting to get some flowers, which is really nice to see. Over here I've got some chrysanthemums planted, so I've never had chrysanthemums either. This is going to be an interesting test. This bare soil bit, there was some carnations in here which just didn't survive the heat we had the other week. I've got some celosia here, celosia flamingo feather, yet another thing I've never grown before, and that's starting to get some little flowers. If you can see, they're really sweet. Apparently you can dry it as well, so that should be fun. I have planted some carnations that have done well, these seedlings here. Never used to like carnations because you just buy them supermarket cheap flowers in plastic, you know, as a single bunch of carnations, but as a flower in with other things, they are just amazing. So I'm quite excited to see what these do, and I'm going to plant more because they're a perennial, which means that, you know, they stay there for a few years, and I have a backpack, which is not the best thing for a flower farmer. And you know, this is good. I can just put them in and leave them in, and it saves me having to do all that bending and continual digging and all the things that come with annuals. Here are my zinnias. I planted quite a lot of different varieties of zinnias, and well, once again, new to zinnias, so I've got some lovely tall ones. This is a lovely tall one. It's a bigger one, which is what you want for cut flowers. Nice long stems. I have some ones that are shorter, and then I've got some really little ones up further up the bed, which are obviously good ones for a garden bed, but not so good for cut flowers. So, you know, it's only recently that I've learned which varieties are better for cut flowers. I've got the Queen series, Queen Lime series, and I must have some of these Benares Giant series in here too, obviously, because there's some large ones. So they're ones that are better to go for. Jumping over this bed here, there's a large one there. I think that might be Benares Salmon potentially, and some more Queen Lime. There's some random dahlias that are left in here. This one is Sweetheart, that's from last year. Tubers that have just got left in the ground and then they've just come up by themselves, which is great. But look, butterflies are everywhere. Oh, cabbage moths. Oh, they're okay. Yeah, so the zinnias are, well, yeah, once again, a bit of an experiment to see what is the best. I did have a whole bed of zinnia seedlings here, quite a large bed. There's a handful still left, but the ducklings got in and completely destroyed the lot. I could not believe that they'd done that. So they are currently now locked up, and only the chickens, there's 3 little chicks running around. Some Rhode Island Reds. They're actually over here in my sunflowers at the moment. They may or may not. Oh, here they come. Hello. There is 3 of them. I'm letting them out. Oh, here's the other one. I'm letting them out, but not letting the ducks out because they're just tearing everything apart. Okay, so I'm just below my main flower garden, which is just next to it's just behind my house. And this is the paddock below there. It does look a bit of a schmoz at the moment. But there are dahlias in here, and they are being quite slow to come up, which is frustrating. They're up. They're definitely up. And I'll show you, here they are. You can see. So here's some plants. You know, they're sitting at about 20 centimetres high, maybe some are 30 centimetres high. And they're being very, very slow this year. Now, these ones I've never grown in here before, so this is different. The other thing is I can't water them here, so I'm relying on whatever I get from the sky. So I actually have a dam further down, so we need to set up some kind of a generator or something to bring the water up the top, because I'm on a slope. This is definitely a slope, and if we can get the water up to the top, and then I'd just be able to turn on a tap and then water from here. So the other thing I can't do is I can't feed them any liquid seaweed, which I'd like to do once a week. I have been doing that with my other ones. These ones I just cannot walk with a watering can backwards and forwards to the tap, and you know, 9 litre watering can, and then come and do 1700 dahlias that are in here. It would kill me. And it just would take forever. It's just not a possibility. So we will just have to wait and see what happens here, and hope. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I hope so, because we've had a couple of dry weeks. Yeah, so we'll just have to see how these go. But this will be where I do pick your own. People can come and you can get a bucket and fill up your bucket and pay per bucket of dahlias. I'm actually in the same paddock as my dahlias, but this part is fenced off with an electric tape. Hopefully my house cows, which is one, this is Roxy, she likes to lick me. She in fact likes to eat my arm. Don't do that, darling. They don't, if they figure out that they can go over that tape at all, they'll eat my dahlias. She's trying to eat me. So she's in here. She's one of my house cows, and here's her calf. Actually, that's not her calf. Her calf is there. This calf here that's Raindrop, belongs to this big black cow. This is Rainbow. Oh, got you on backwards. But this is Rainbow. My other house cow, who was actually in this morning, she was milked this morning. She's very pregnant. She's probably due in about a month or two. She's such a good girl. She's the nicest cow. Yeah. So we're hoping that they don't get in over this way past my dog, which is where the dahlias is, because that would be a complete and utter disaster. Good for them, bad for me. So the rest of the things I'm growing for my flower farm have been put in my garden. So these have been things that have been trials. So I do have some chocolate lace growing here. Really like that. I want to grow more lace, ignore my washing, more lace for next season. So I bought some Ami Magus and Ami Bisnaga seeds to put in, see how they go, but that'll be new. I've got California poppies in here. I don't know if you can see those. I haven't picked them yet. I don't know what they're like to pick. And I've got more asters going on down here. I've also got some feverfew. So there we go, some feverfew here. This is a beautiful fill. That's new for me this year as well. That's a perennial, so I should just be able to leave that and it should just come back year after year. Behind me is what's left of my cornflowers. These were really handy. Mid-spring, and they've just got really tired. Really large patch of cornflowers, completely unnecessary, although there was stages when I was just taking a heap of cornflowers to farmers markets and they actually sell quite well there, but they are fiddly, they are hard to harvest, the stems break. This patch got completely flattened by the wind and the rain. We had a really wet and windy spring. So I think if I ever do them again, I'll have much less and not grow all the colours and pinch them out. I have heard that, do it at about 25 centimetres and pinch them out. They'll get bushier, smaller plants, but stronger. But really on the fence as to whether it's worth it for next season. I do have some seeds. I did buy some seeds to sow, because you sow them in autumn. Yeah, I'm going to have a think about whether these go back in again. Flowers. These I've never grown before either. There's quite a large patch of straw flowers. These are so pretty and they're fantastic dried. So I have been drying them just by hanging them up, letting them dry naturally in my schoolroom, and sold some at farmers markets. Look, they're a really cheerful flower. I'm really quite loving them, and I've got like lots of different colours. So thanks for joining me today here. I hope you've enjoyed the little tour of my flower farm and that you follow along and see what I get up to. As a fairly new grower to some varieties, but a bit of an old hand at dahlias now, I hope you can learn something. Do pop on over to my website. I have workshops on offer coming up this summer, definitely once all these flowers come up. I've got bouquets that are available to purchase from the website. I will have the pick your own that will get going at some point. I just need to get organised with that, but once that paddock of dahlias up, there'll be lots to come, and get a bucket and come and pick a bucket of dahlias. And if you're interested in having a wedding or an event, then I can help you there as well. And potentially too, I think I might look at doing bouquet bars. If you don't know what that is, I will have buckets of flowers picked and ready, and then you can come along and create your own bouquet, which is a bit of fun. Yeah, so keep in touch and we'll see you soon. Bye.